Hi guys, and welcome to another unboxing and first impressions. This is another fake unboxing because this watch got delivered at my work and it came in this generic carry-on because it's a used one with no papers, no box. So I didn't bother opening it in front of you because I opened it at work, wore it that day, came home and made the mod, a certain mod, even before I started recording this, and it's the keeper because this thing comes with that metal G-Shock keeper and combined with this thin strap that the GWN-1000, which this model is, comes. This just keeps sliding and doesn't stay put, and I found this keeper on one of my rubber NATO straps, and since I hate NATO straps I never wore it, and this one stays put, and it also kind of bends this part that's sticking out to stay here. So it's actually a perfect solution for this one. It's just not gold. This is actually the fourth and last G-Shock I bought using YE. I had some budget left, it wasn't much, and I was like, what else could I get? And then I remembered this model ever since it came out. I believe it was 2015 or 2014, something like that, that I really wanted one. It was succeeded by the GWN-Q1000 that added a depth sensor, and I already featured that watch on the channel. I did the detailed tutorial, the review, everything. That watch is great, but it kind of was more elegant than this one, and it also had a couple of problems with the hands, which is why Casio discontinued it later. While this one, although this variant, the gold and black, is discontinued, there are regular variants still available, and this to me is the best Gulfmaster of them all. Why? Because I love the look the best, and I always say on my channel, if you want to get a watch and everything, forget the functions, forget the complexity, the brand, everything. If you like the look of the watch, that's the most important thing, and especially with G-Shocks. Yes, we're drawn with the amazing tag because this one used to be top of the line, so it's solar, it's atomic, it's a full triple sensor. So this was like the analog equivalent of the GW-9400 Rangeman, but all those functions, although they're very cool, trust me, you're going to play with them for a couple of months, and then after that you're just going to wear this like a regular watch. And this one I always loved because of this huge metal bezel. It's so amazing, and this one is done in gold plated. I mean, this one is gold plated, while the regular ones I believe are blue, and there's a couple of variants, one is black. I love this one. And my biggest fear when this came out new, it was a pretty expensive watch. I believe it was like $500 or $600. And as you can see, the bezel is protruding outwards. It's not protected. And I was always hesitant on buying one because I knew I would probably scratch up the bezel. It would show up the metal underneath. It would not look pretty. But when I saw a used one, the price was really good. I was the only bidder because obviously these are not very popular, although they should be. So I bought it. But what surprised me is that when the watch arrived, as you can see, it's been pretty beaten up, and I already ordered a new strap, which is another thing I like about this model. The strap is actually almost half the bezel because all of this gets replaced with the strap. So as you can see, this one has been banged up here pretty roughly, on this side as well, but the bezel itself looks very good, which leads me to believe that Casio somehow calculated these angles correctly. And although the bezel is exposed, as you can see, obviously these protective pieces are doing their job. Because like I said, this watch has been used and abused, but the bezel looks really good. This is my favorite variant of the GWN-1000. Another thing that I always loved about this, and it came when I did the GWN-Q1000 review, is just how intuitive these Gulfmasters are, or these modules are. This is very similar to the Mudmaster. So whenever you want to change something, you simply pull out the crown. And on this one, it's not a screw down crown, which, you know, requires you every time to screw it out and then screw it back in. But on this one, you simply pop. As you can see, you have these two positions. You pop it here, and now you pull it out, and you're setting things up. You want to change your time zone? Fine. Move to another city, push it in, That's it. Even the hand alignment, something that I always cover in my tutorial videos, as it's a very important when you change the battery or something goes wrong. It's usually very complicated. On this one, again, you pull out the crown and you press and hold this button until the watch initiates the handset. It's going to automatically check the position and correct the position. It's an amazing watch. Also, when you go into the sensor modes with using this lower button, so let's say barometer or compass, or let's say altimeter, you want to change the units. Usually on G-Shocks you have to go into the adjusting screen in the home screen, then cycle all the way through. Not with this one. You're in the altimeter, you don't want meters, you want feet. Simply pull out the crown. This is to calibrate the altimeter. Press the mode button again, and now it's going to ask you for the units. You twist the crown, you change the units. Very cool. So everything is where you think it's going to be. This is a very logically assembled watch, logically programmed watch, and that's the reason why I love it. But mostly, like I said, I love it because of the design. It simply is stunning. It is one of the largest watches, largest G-Shocks, and it was one of the largest when it came out. But as you can see, because of the position of this strap, I believe this thing can be worn on a very small wrist. Mine is now 6.5, so we're gonna put it on, see how it looks. We're gonna do the Lume shot, and that's gonna be it for the unboxing. But like I said, do stay tuned for the full review with macro shots and everything, and I'll probably be doing the detailed tutorial, although it's pretty much the same like the GWN-Q1000 minus the depth sensor. Okay, so let's strap it on my 6.5-inch wrist. I used to have 6.7 in some of the videos. You will see my wrist is bigger, lost quite a lot of weight, now it's 6.5, and although this should be too big for me, as you can see, because of the shape and the way the strap leaves the case, it actually hugs my wrist perfectly. And this keeper is doing an excellent job of keeping this part here. With this one, not only was it sticking like this when I was at work, but it also kept sliding, and as it slid down, the gap just became bigger and bigger, and it looked ridiculous. But like this, it's just amazing. And look at that beautiful gold bezel. And I love the depth of the dial. Look how it steps down to the chapter ring, and then under a chapter ring you have another level, and then you have these raised markers. Very cool. I even love the colorway of the dial. Now, do I wish they made all the markers in this color instead of these blacked out? Yes, but I actually do like it like this. Okay, so let's do the Lume shot, and we're going to test the backlight, and that's going to be it for today. Oh, another thing that I really like is the weather alarm, because this one does have the barometer. Again, on most other G-Shocks, to get into the weather alarm, you have to go into the barometer, you have to enable things, blah, blah, blah. With this one, because this one is aimed at people who live off and by the sea, it has to be simple and fast. So you want to turn on the weather alarm in the home screen, nothing but push this button and hold it. So hold it like this, and bam, you just activated the weather alarm, where the watch is going to actually beep and show you with using this hand whether the weather is going to go bad or better. Very cool. Turn it off, again press and hold, and that's it. So cool. When it comes to the functions, as you would expect, world time with an easy time swap. You do have the tide graph and everything, stopwatch, timer, alarms, 5 alarms, and as you can see, it's solar atomic. So a very cool piece. Okay, let's do the Lume shot, and that's gonna be it. Okay, we charged the watch. Let's zoom in, let the camera focus, and turn off the lights. And as you can see, the Lume is actually okay on the main markers and the main hands. These blacked out ones are noticeably weaker and probably gonna like fade out much faster, but this one is actually okay. Even if the Lume sucked completely, you do have the backlight that lights up the whole face, and it's pretty decent because you have 2 LEDs. One is used for the display and one is used for the face. Now I wish Casio implemented 2 different LEDs like they did on some of the Gravity Master series, where you have the black light or the UV LED for the analog part, because that will just make the Lume plots pop without affecting the rest of the face, and then have a regular LED for the display. That would have been perfect, but it never happened and probably never will again. But what can you do? I am a sucker for gold, black and gold combinations. That's why I have my golden tuna. There's just something when you combine black and gold that kind of, I don't know, it makes it very attractive to me, and I really do like the way this thing looks. It even have these screws that are holding the strap. It kind of actually reminds me of the golden tuna. On the tuna it's on the shroud, here it's on the bezel that's protecting the main bezel. Very cool. Anyways, that's it. So thank you for watching. Like I said, stay tuned for the full review and also the full tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.